Welcome, dear listeners. Today I invite you to journey with me into the wilderness, where an unassuming discovery turns into an extraordinary adventure. Imagine stumbling upon an ancient relic, its golden surface shimmering in the dim light of a hidden cave, a treasure so captivating that it defies explanation. But what if this treasure carried with it more than just beauty? What if its very existence was tied to a legend of power, greed, and an ominous curse? Stay with me as we uncover the mystery of the Golden Dagger and the unexpected twists it brought to one man's life. Lucas couldn't contain his excitement as he held the gleaming golden dagger in his hand. He had stumbled upon it while exploring a hidden cave deep in the wilderness, and he knew he had discovered something truly extraordinary. Before we start our story, smash the like button, make sure to subscribe, and hit the notifications bell so you won't miss any new stories. The dagger was unlike anything he had ever seen before, with a blade that seemed to emit a mysterious aura and a handle adorned with precious gemstones that sparkled in the dim light of the cave. Maybe it was worth a fortune. Unable to contain his curiosity, Lucas decided to take the dagger to a local jeweler, Mr. Chen, known for his expertise in ancient artifacts. With his heart pounding with anticipation, Lucas made his way to Mr. Chen's shop, eager to learn more about his newfound treasure. As soon as Mr. Chen laid eyes on the golden dagger, his expression changed. He turned pale and seemed visibly shaken. Without wasting a moment, he picked up his phone and dialed the police. Lucas was taken aback, confused about the sudden turn of events. He anxiously waited as Mr. Chen spoke rapidly in hushed tones to the authorities, his eyes glued to the dagger the whole time. After what seemed like an eternity, the police arrived at the scene. Mr. Chen explained to them in urgent tones about the dagger that Lucas had brought in, and the officers immediately confiscated it. Lucas was shocked and bewildered, unsure of what was happening. Mr. Chen, still looking visibly shaken, explained to Lucas that the dagger he had found was not an ordinary artifact. It was a legendary relic known as the Dagger of the Lost King, believed to have been cursed and forbidden to possess. It was said that whoever possessed the dagger would face dire consequences, and it was strictly prohibited to buy or sell it. Lucas was dumbfounded. He had no idea about the dagger's history or the supposed curse attached to it. He had simply been drawn to its beauty and had no ill intentions. He was devastated to see his discovery taken away by the police. As the news of the mysterious dagger spread, Lucas found himself at the center of attention. Reporters swarmed around him, eager to learn more about the rare artifact and how he had come across it. He was bombarded with questions, but he had no answers to give. Days passed, and Lucas couldn't shake off the feeling of unease that had settled over him. He couldn't forget the dagger and its alluring aura. Determined to understand the truth behind it, he started delving into the history of the Dagger of the Lost King, spending hours researching ancient texts and legends. One day, Lucas stumbled upon a forgotten tale that shed light on the mystery. According to the legend, the dagger was believed to hold immense power and was used by an ancient king to achieve victory in battles. However, the king's greed and lust for power had led to his downfall, and the dagger had been cursed as a result. It was said that anyone who possessed the dagger would face grave consequences, including misfortune and calamity. With newfound knowledge, Lucas realized the gravity of the situation. He had unknowingly stumbled upon a cursed relic, and the police had confiscated it to prevent any further harm. He felt a mixture of relief and regret, knowing that he had narrowly escaped the curse's potential effects. Months passed, and Lucas moved on from his discovery, focusing on other archaeological pursuits. One day, out of the blue, he received a call from Mr. Chen, the jeweler. Mr. Chen sounded urgent and asked Lucas to come to his shop immediately. Curious and apprehensive, Lucas rushed to the jeweler's shop. As soon as he arrived, Mr. Chen handed him a small wooden box. As Lucas opened it, he couldn't believe his eyes. There, nestled inside the box, was the golden dagger he had found in the cave. He looked up at Mr. Chen in confusion, unable to comprehend why the jeweler had returned it to him. Mr. Chen, looking grave, explained that after conducting further research and consulting with experts, he had come to the conclusion that Lucas had found the dagger unintentionally and was not aware of the curse associated with it. He also learned that the dagger had been missing from a museum for years, and its sudden reappearance had caused quite a stir in the archaeological community. Lucas was taken aback by this revelation, realizing the gravity of the situation. He couldn't believe he had unwittingly stumbled upon a stolen artifact with a curse attached to it. He felt a mix of guilt and fear, realizing the potential danger he had unknowingly exposed himself and others to. Mr. Chen then explained that the museum had agreed to return the dagger to its rightful place, but Lucas would have to assist with the process and provide a statement to the authorities about how he had found it. Lucas readily agreed, wanting to make things right and put an end to the troubling turn of events. As they made their way to the museum, Lucas couldn't help but feel a sense of foreboding. He had never expected his discovery to lead to such complications, and he wondered what other surprises lay ahead. When they arrived, Lucas was met by a team of experts and museum officials who carefully examined the dagger and verified its authenticity. As he recounted the story of how he had found the dagger in the cave, Lucas noticed that the jeweler, Mr. Chen, seemed unusually quiet and pale. Sensing his unease, Lucas asked him if everything was all right. Mr. Chen hesitated before speaking up. "I must confess something," Mr. Chen said, his voice barely above a whisper. "When I first saw the dagger, I recognized it immediately. It was stolen from the museum years ago, and I was afraid that its sudden appearance might implicate me." Lucas was taken aback, shocked by the revelation. He couldn't believe that the person he had trusted with the dagger had been involved in its theft. Mr. Chen went on to explain that he had called the police not out of concern for the curse, but out of fear of getting caught. Before Lucas could respond, the museum officials and authorities intervened, taking Mr. Chen into custody for his involvement in the theft of the dagger. Lucas was left in disbelief, feeling betrayed and shaken by the turn of events. He had trusted Mr. Chen only to discover that he had been harboring a stolen artifact. As the ordeal came to an end, Lucas was relieved that the dagger would be returned to its rightful place and that justice would be served. He learned a valuable lesson about the importance of ethical archaeology and the consequences of possessing stolen artifacts. In the aftermath of the incident, Lucas received recognition from the museum and the archaeological community for his role in the recovery of the stolen dagger. He continued his passion for archaeology with renewed determination, always mindful of the ethical implications of his discoveries. As for the golden dagger, it was returned to the museum, where it was displayed with proper care and caution, respecting its historical significance and the curse that had surrounded it. It remained a cautionary tale in the world of archaeology, a reminder of the importance of responsible artifact handling and the perils of possessing stolen treasures. For Lucas, it became a story he would never forget, a tale of adventure, betrayal, and lessons learned in the pursuit of hidden treasures.